You mentioned some supplements there. There is an endless list of things that are supposed to improve brain function. What are the ones that are the biggest winners from a supplement perspective?
Omega-3 fatty acids help mood, memory, and pain. I love that. My favorite of all of them is saffron. So the spice, the most expensive spice in the world, has been shown in 26 randomized controlled trials to be equally effective as antidepressants with fewer to virtually no side effects.
What's the mechanism it's working on?
It seems to increase multiple neurotransmitters and decrease inflammatory markers. And why I got interested in saffron is around 25 years ago, there was a study showing it helped mood and improve sexual function. And most of the antidepressants I prescribe decrease sexual function. And that was always something that used to really irritate me. I'm going to help your mood and ruin your
sex life,
relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't like that. And so I started paying attention to it. And then all this research, brand new study out just last week, where they looked at 192 studies on 17,000 patients, looking at what supplements worked for depression. And they compared them against antidepressants, and saffron came out the best alone. Interestingly, when you added zinc to antidepressants, dramatically improved their effectiveness. That's so interesting. When you added curcumins from turmeric to antidepressants, dramatically increased its effectiveness. And so one of my favorites, saffron, zinc, and curcumins for mood. They also found SAMe very effective for pain and mood.
I've only heard that used to help you get over MDMA come downs. Again, you can tell I was a club promoter for a long time. 5-HTP?
Not as effective in the studies as saffron. I like it if I'm trying to specifically boost serotonin. And did you know women have 52% less serotonin than men?
I did not.
Which is why if you make them mad, they're never going to forget it because it stimulates the part of their brain that keeps them stuck. And why women are at twice the risk of depression as men.
The predisposition to rumination, to being stuck on thought patterns.
Yes.
Okay. So
they also have better frontal lobes, though. So I published a study on 46,000 brains and looking at differences between male and female brains. And women have much better frontal lobe function, which is why they go to jail 14 times less than men do.
I would imagine the testosterone plays a role there as well.
It does, but also the lack of forethought.
Risk-taking behavior.
If I do this, I'm more likely to be in a cage than if I don't do that.
Okay. Omega-3s, saffron, SAMe, theanine.
Love theanine, especially for anxiety. But it also can help with focus. I like that. I like a good multiple vitamin, especially that has vitamin D, because low levels of vitamin D are associated with virtually every bad thing. B6, B12, and folate.
Methylated? Or have you not got a preference?
Methylated.
Yeah.
And it's about a third of the population has a folate genetic. Me too. And so I take extra methylfolate every day to decrease my homocysteine and decrease my risk of heart disease.
Let me give you an interesting one from my most recent set of blood tests. My MCV was unusually high. And then I had a test done. My entire genetic profile got done toward the back end of last year. I've got 4 different polymorphisms that wreck my ability to do B12. So one in the gut, one in the blood, one in the brain, and one in the methylation pathway, something like that. So I've switched to B12 injections. to try and bypass all of that. And that made a really big impact.
Impact in what way?
I noticed improved energy was the main thing, that I was having these dips in energy throughout the day, especially sort of post-lunch and then earlier on in an evening. So I'm still working through a bunch of stuff on an evening time. But this made an impact, despite the fact that every type of different methylated B12, B6 vitamin under the sun. But when you've got this series of different sort of hurdles that you need to jump over, and when you think it's got to the stage where your the size of your red blood cells is actually being manipulated by this, I think, I should probably pay attention to that.
Any alcohol?
No, never.
Because sometimes that'll give you big red blood cells. It's one of the first things that I see. But that's not it.
What else have we not gone through from that? Omega-3s, saffron, SAMe, ashwagandha.
I like ashwagandha. It actually helps boost testosterone levels and can sort of calm you down. Magnesium, I think.
Have you got a preferred type?
Depends on what we're using it for. If you're constipated, oxide. If you can't sleep, glycinate. If it's because you have muscle twitches, taurate. But many people are magnesium deficient. And it's like, let's do the simple things before you go to the psychiatric medications. It doesn't mean you won't use the psychiatric medications, but it shouldn't be the first thing. But most doctors, they get no training in supplements. And so it's the medication that keeps you coming back.
Before we continue, you've probably heard me talk about Element before, and that's because I'm frankly dependent on it. For the last 3 years, I've started every morning with Element. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium with no sugar, no gluten or artificial ingredients or any other BS. It plays a huge role in reducing muscle cramps and fatigue while optimizing brain health, regulating appetite, and curbing cravings. That's why it's used by everyone from Dr. Andrew Huberman to Dr. Mike Israetel, Olympic athletes and FBI sniper teams, and me. This orange flavor in a cold glass of water tastes like a beautiful, salty, sweet, orangey nectar, and there's a no questions asked refund policy, and you don't even need to return the box if you don't like it. That's how confident they are that you'll love it. Plus, they offer free shipping in the US, and you can get a free sample pack of all 8 flavors with your first purchase by going to the link in the description below or heading to drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom. That's drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, the full episode is available right here. Go on. Press it.